Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Board Game Mechanics. My name is Katie, and with me, as always, is...
Hey, everybody, what's going on? It is Jason.
Look at us trying to stay on a schedule.
Yeah, trying something new.
Also, part of it is because we're going on a cruise with my family in a couple weeks, like right before Origins. So we're not going to be able to get a podcast in there because Jason's going to be spending his time eating at the buffet, and I will be spending my time applying sunscreen.
Oh, yeah, that's all I'm going to be doing is eating. I'm going to come out like twice the size that I am now, so...
You'll find us at Origins, people.
You'll see me. You won't be able to walk down the hallway because I'll be too big.
And I'll be bright red.
Yep, that sounds right.
That's usually how it works. But thanks for hanging in there. This is episode 300. I just wanted to point out 300.
That's crazy. Like most other podcasters, this will be like season 32 or something.
Is there how many? Do they do like one a month or something? Is that how people have 32 seasons?
I have no idea what people do. Every year somebody comes up with a new season. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I guess that's true. I feel like
we're not good podcasters, so we just do what we do here.
I mean, we're pretty okay. But pretty okay has gotten us to 300 episodes.
That's true. That's true.
I've only been around for like 200 of those.
That is true. Nah, more than yeah. It was about 100 when you came in.
Yeah. See, but if Jason's been here for all 300, so if you want to know why I married this goof, it's the loyalty, man. It's the tenacity. 300 episodes. He's been there for all of them.
That's true. I'm pretty amazing. That's what I heard.
Okay. I didn't choose him for his.
I mean, that's what I heard.
His hearing skills. That's for sure. All right, well, let's kick off episode 300 with some news. I've kind of stayed away from Kickstarter a little bit, and our correspondent in the field, he's been doing a really good job bringing me stuff. Because I was like, I'll look back on Kickstarter, just see what's out there, really look. And then I got angry because there's still the same like super busty babe pinup 3D printed miniatures for creepers who live in their mom's basement, and I just get really angry.
Hey, yeah, those people in the basement need love too.
I have so many things to respond to that with that aren't appropriate for the podcast. So
with our daughters sitting right next to you.
Right. So I'm just gonna hold those in. I'm sure y'all can imagine what my would reply was to that.
Oh, yeah.
And where that love would be coming from. Okay, so the first game I want to talk about actually is, to me, a breath of fresh air in the cesspool that is Kickstarter. And this game is called 3 Magi. And this is by Bedouin Games, who, it says they've created the 3 games. They specialize in story-based board games, is what they said, which is kind of cool. They did Rise of Babel and The Flood.
Yeah, I tried to get a copy of The Flood, but they would never send me one. So
the little arcs look awesome on The Flood.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I don't know anything about the game, but that one looked cool.
I need to check that out. We might actually have to buy it, like a regular person.
Nah, that's for plebs.
Well, I kind of want to buy this one. So 3 Magi, you are a Magi. Imagine that. Going to visit the king who's being born in Bethlehem. So you're a dude on a camel. Shocking, right? So doing a camel, in that you're trekking across the desert to get to your ultimate goal is to see the newborn king. As you go, you are gonna actually craft your gifts as well. So there is some resource management. There's a lot of movement. So you're moving on your Magi on tiles, and the tiles give you different rewards. And those rewards are resources then that you can use to build things, or they're also cards. And the interesting thing about cards is they've got a day banner, and some of them have a night banner, which I find games that have like that 2-phase day and night phase really cool. Why can't I remember the name of the game with the pirates?
Libertalia.
Yep. I was like, Palomori. Libertalia does that, and I think it's really cool. So there's a banner, a day banner on an action card, or so you can play one of those, or you can combine some resources to craft gifts, which look like they're going to give you points. Then there's a night phase where night banners happen to work out. And then there's this little navigation board that I think is really interesting. You're kind of moving around, like looking at the stars. I'm not sure what that does. I think it actually allows you to get some resources that way as well, as you're kind of tracking the movement of the stars on your way to Bethlehem. I think this looks really cool. I saw an ad, I mean, it's targeted, whatever, on Facebook for this. And I was like, oh, what a cool theme, really. And then looking at this game, I'm like, man, I like it when games use biblical themes, which we've talked about before, but they actually make it a good game and with good production. And the pieces in this, the artwork in this, look pretty nice. It doesn't look chintzy. It doesn't look like, we had the flannel graph board and we took pictures of it. Use our Encarta CD to get some clip art. I think it actually does look pretty good. It's already funded as well, which is exciting to me. It was funded in under 8 hours. Look at them go. But again, I think the theme's cool, and it looks like a fun game with like worker placement, resource management, definitely a Euro game, some kind of like track type things. So if you're interested in that, there's about 10 days left on the Kickstarter from the time that this episode airs. And the base game is $45, which seems very reasonable. They're also selling an expansion. So if you want to get both together, it's $60, which, I mean, I feel like is a pretty good value. They have a deluxe edition as well. You can buy the expansion for like $15 extra. It's like wisdom tokens, which I think is really cool. There's like wisdoms, prophecies. Ooh, Herod's suspicion. A fifth player. Purple camels. Oh man, purple camels. There's also like deluxe miniatures available. But if you give like the $40 pledge. Oh, is this early bird? There is a deluxe edition. Only $40. What the heck? This looks awesome. Wow. This is cool. Wow. Miniatures, double layer boards, acrylic deluxe player tokens. Man, these are some nice components.
Yeah, I looked at it before and it does look cool. My only issue is the flood. Nobody talks about that game. So then I worry, is the game not good? Are only Christians playing it? Because sometimes these games have their little niche and they can't get out of that hole, that bubble, you know? So that's my only worry with like a small company who does these biblically themed games is no one talks about it, and I can't ever tell if they're good or not. Because like not very many people cover the game either, which makes it hard. So that's that's why I'm a little scared.
I feel like for the price, and I'd like to support the idea of making more games like this. I think it might be worth it. Shipping is not terrible to the continental U.S. It's like $24 for the deluxe pledge. Yeah,
it's not bad
considering, but yeah.
We won't talk about that here.
Involved. So that's my first episode's 3 Magi. My second one is a game that I wonder if people didn't look too closely at on Kickstarter because the first language it's in is Japanese. But you know that intrigues Katie. So this game is called Mimic Mansion, which to me, the name like really pulled me in. So the whole story behind this is you're the owner of a vast mansion and like these intruders just keep coming in and taking your treasure away. So you're like, all right, that's it. I'm going to start installing mimics that look like ordinary stuff in the estate so I can like really mess up these basically thieves that are coming in to take my stuff. But not only are you setting up like these mimics in your mansion, you also are sending explorers to rival mansions to gain things from them, which is a really fun concept. The artwork on this is adorable because the mimics are adorable. There's one that's called a toilet mimic, and it's a toilet that is like wrapped up like a mummy with toilet paper, but it has little eyes and little arms. There's a little like egg mimic, book mimics that look like bats. There's a bath mimic that's like an octopus just covered itself up with a sheet and there's a rubber ducky on it. The artwork is ridiculous cute. So you're kind of doing a tableau. I guess it's not really tableau. Yeah, it's tableau, but you're deck building. So you got a deck and you're drawing cards, to go out on some rooms in your mansions. And then you're going to kind of activate them with gems, I believe. And so then like the second phase is going to explore the mansion of the player on your left. And so there's the little 3 spots that you put cards on in. That's where the explorer tokens go. And so some of the mimics then are going to, you've got tracks that's going to give you mental damage from the mimics. So there's like, you're trying to take care of that because if you get too much mental damage, you're really losing victory points that way. And then like, it's kind of also a push your luck because you can keep going. Because also while there is a damage, you also gain like, treasures from them as well. So that's kind of like a really cool push your luck aspect, exploring. So you're getting these things. And then once you get these gems and stuff, this treasure, you then go and can purchase more cards to add to your deck that are more powerful. Or you can, instead of buying a card, you donate to the Mimic Association to just gain straight victory points. There's like 8 rounds of it. There are like a couple different types of card effects. So there's one that like the effect will happen when you play it out on your mansion. And there's other effects that is when it's kept in your hand. There's also certain mimics that you can like increase their power. There's some that are hidden. So you kind of cover it up so no one knows what it is. You can put it in a dark room. And so the explorer doesn't know what's on the cards until they enter the room. And then you have like a little secret mission. So there's lots of different stuff going on here. It's really cute artwork. I just think it looks super, super fun. So if you think mimics are cool, if you like some, basic card building, some little bit deck building, a little bit of push your luck, check this out. Mimic Mansion. There's 13 days left on the Kickstarter, and it is $46.
Probably not a theme for me. 3 Magi seems more up my alley, but yeah, it could be cool. It could be cool stuff.
I think this would maybe be more fun than 3 Magi. I don't know. There's a lot of...
You're probably right. I mean, I like a whole bunch of weird games that I never thought I would like, so...
That's true. Yeah, the components are cool. Did you look at the artwork on this? Did you look this one up?
No, I haven't looked this one up.
Fine.
I haven't been on Kickstarter a ton, and I didn't look at what you had on here before we started. So, but I've looked up 3 Magi before.
Yeah, if you want like a complete edition of Mimic Mansion, which is like the game, a wood token set, like a rubber mat, all that stuff, it's about $70 all in, which is pretty great. But $46 for the basic, and those are like the 2 options.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'll look it up just to check it out because maybe I'm wrong.
I think you are. But that is what I have for news this episode.
All right, so there hasn't been a lot of gaming because there just hasn't been. Well, I've played some games by myself, but no one wants to hear us talk about that. So,
I mean, we had the end of the school year. Our kids are finally out of school, but it's like field day, pool day. Our youngest daughter had 5th grade day because now she's going to middle school. We are looking to relocate BGM Central or BGM headquarters, as Fan Zero calls it.
lots of stuff. I've been playing a lot of solo games. I played some games this week with one other person, but Katie wasn't playing. So we're not going to talk about any games this time. That's the long short of it, or short long, however you want to say. I don't know. That's the gist of why we're not doing games. So all that being said, we're going to move into the thing that we came here to talk about, and that is an Origins preview.
Yes, we have. How many years have we gone to Origins now?
Oh, I don't know. We just threw away all those badges. It's been not 10, but 7 or 8 maybe.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, the perk of living where we live. Origins is maybe like an hour from us. We spend a decent amount of time in Columbus, kind of with friends and for different things off and on. So it's just real easy for us. We like the setup of Origins. It is smaller in nature. And I mean, we've been to Gen Con, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff at Gen Con. But at Origins, I feel like I can actually play games. I can actually see new games, get into the booth, look around at things, come back again, after I think about it, and then wander off and play games with people and then come back. The atmosphere of Origins works better for us. And so we're really excited to go. Several of you are coming and we cannot wait. And we have looked at the list that is, as of the time that we are dropping this podcast, of games that they say are going to be there. So in true fashion, we ranked them. And we each are going to give you 5 games that we are going to seek out at Origins, look for them, see if they just catch your eye. At least that's what, for me, when I look through the list, I'm like scrolling. If you don't have a picture, it's hard for me to pick you because I just stop when I see something that looks good. But we will give you about 10 games that we're interested in that are going to be at the Origins Game Fair this year. So Jason's going to start with his number 5.
All right, so before I do that, I looked up the first game we ever bought at Origins, and that was Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft.
Yes.
And that was 2015, and that was the year it came out that we picked it up. So this will be year number 10.
Wow.
Yeah, so there we go. I just wanted to say that because I remember that was the first game we ever bought.
I do remember that.
So I looked that up, and there we go. All right, so moving on to what you guys actually care about. None of that. My number 5, not in any order. I didn't put these in any order. This is just the first one that I wrote down. And this one's called Mythical Dice. And this is from iello. And this actually came out in 2016 as Skull King the Dice Game. And I knew nothing about this other than I saw dice and I liked the description of it. But I just looked at it. I looked at the picture and it looked cool. But when I was reading it today, this is basically a trick-taking game that only uses dice. So it was effectively Skull King before, but instead of the cards in Skull King, it was all dice. The way this game works is you're going to have some dice. You're going to bid how many tricks you think you can take behind your player board. Then you're going to pick a die out and you're going to roll it. And then you're trying to win the trick based on the die that you roll. In the Skull King one, it would be like the skulls beat the mermaids, beat this, then this beats the Skull King. So a whole bunch of like a rondelle of like oppression or whatever. So I don't know what this one does, but it's a similar vibe. You're trying to win the most tricks over so many rounds based on the number of players. So all dice instead of cards. I like trick taking, and I think this could be a cool idea because we played Mori last year that was cards and dice, and with just this being cards, it could be cool. It could be really random and not be good at all, but either way, I want to give it a try. So my number 5, Mythical Dice from iello.
Did we play that Skull King dice? Because that sounds familiar.
We played Skull King, but and the dice. Well, yeah, I don't think we've ever played that. Okay. I've never played it. I don't think.
I mean, I'm sure I haven't played it. I just thought it sounded familiar. I actually did rank mine in order of what I'm most excited.
My number 1's the one I'm the most excited about, but outside of that, I just wrote them down.
I tried to kind of organize them. My number 5 is a kids game, and we always like to go and find good kids games. Our youngest daughter loves to play games. We also like to be able to help out other parents find games that aren't junior version of everything or Candyland, which has its place. But there are other really good games out there for kids. And this one looks real cute and I think fun. And it's called Dino. And this is from a publisher called Ludiminal, which I have not heard before. But it's in this game, it's cooperative. And you are a family of Stegosaurus, which is my favorite dinosaur. I don't know if you know this. Stegosaurus. And because no one asks that anymore. What's your favorite dinosaur is? Jason, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Good question. I like the Triceratops.
Okay, that's a good one. We like the herbivores here. The Stegosaurus is adorable. So you're a family of Stegos, and what you're doing is like rescue as many of like your herd's eggs as possible before the board collapses, because it's a late Jurassic. There's an earthquake, so things might not be going well in the neighborhood. So there are tiles that are laid out, and then on each turn, you're drawing things out of a bag, and the different tokens that you draw out, like if it has like more like spikes on it, I guess what they call it, you get more turns. But it also like can cause like tiles to flip over, so they like just fall out. You are like, the board shifts and moves around. There could be lava that bubbles up and you can't cross it, but you also could find like super fruit that'll trigger like bonus powers. You can stomp and like shift tiles around, move across the board. You're going to pick up and deliver these eggs. The Stegosaurus game piece and the eggs stinking adorable. And this is actually for sale, so I am super interested in this. So that is my number 5, Dino.
Yeah, sounds cool. I love pulling stuff out of a bag, so yeah, I'm in.
Like that Creatures and Cupcakes kids game. That's real fun.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's a great game that people need to play more and like it. People are jerks.
Yeah, you need to look at the Dino. It's so cute.
Yeah, I'll check it out. My number 4 is actually a game system that we've played through a couple different versions of. It's called MicroMacro City. But my number 4 is MicroMacro Kids, Crazy City Park from Edition Spielwise. This is effectively MicroMacro. So what MicroMacro is this big paper board that's all in black and white. The board is white, and there's a bunch of like black drawings on it of buildings, people, cars, different crazy things going on. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out this mystery by answering these questions and finding these pictures on the map. And each of the pictures is going to lead you to another picture to try to solve the mystery or whatever happened. This is effectively the same thing, but all of these cases are more kid-friendly. Like one is, where did the missing dinosaur bone go to? Like somebody stole a dinosaur bone. They're all like more kid-friendly. Some of the ones in the actual game could be a little, I don't think they're that bad, but they can be about like murder or peeing on a building or something. Maybe you don't want your kid to see that. But these are more kid-friendly. Same concept. Ask a question, find the picture, answer the question, move on to the solution. More macro is always good, or more MicroMacro is always good, so that's why it's on my list. Number 4, MicroMacro Kids, Crazy City Park.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. I'm interested in that one. My number 4, I don't know a ton about, but it is available for buying, and it's pretty cheap because it's just the first case in a series. And this game is called Ministry of Lost Things. So the first case is called Lint Condition. Lint Condition. Because you basically work for this Ministry of Lost Things, and you're going to go out and find items that were taken kind of from your world. So it's deduction, it's adventure, it's fantasy, it's puzzle. And this first one, Lint Condition, has 4 envelopes, and you have to solve them in sequence. And you are finding out more about the lost item and its companion as you're solving these puzzles. And at the end, you can go to actually a website and verify your solutions. And that like helps you like progress to the next step. I love deduction. I'm all for more of this kind. It is hard because you play it once and then you spent that kind of money. But I think that it would be nice to be able to kind of play it and then trade it with somebody else who wants to play it. So I don't know if you have to write on them or whatever. I don't think so. But there's a lot of really interesting looking stuff, what they can show you, like memos and business cards and drawings and like a little map with codes and stuff. It's pretty involved. And since there haven't been any new consulting detectives, I'm almost finished with the special investigation or something, which is the one set in America, which is Cthulhu themed, which I do not like. It makes me really sad that I just really don't like it that much. I'm looking for something to fill the void, and Ministry of Lost Things might be it. And that's from a company called PostCurious, which I don't know anything about either. But that's
I'd never heard of them.
I know. That's my number 4, Ministry of Lost Things, Case 1, Lint Condition.
Probably not my jam, but yeah, I'm sure you'll like it. My number 3 is a game from Kids Table Board Games, which was originally from Japan, from Arclight Games, and it's called Nana Toridori. And this is effectively Scout. I mean, that sounds terrible, but that's kind of what this game is. You're going to be dealt some cards. You can't rearrange your cards. And you have to play cards that are next to each other, just like in Scout. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get rid of all of your cards. But in this one, instead of scouting where you take a card and someone gets a point, you can choose to pass and then you draw a card. So maybe you're going to be able to adjust your hand a little bit by drawing cards. If all but one player pass, you clear the cards and whoever comes back to gets to lead, just kind of like Scout. So it feels like Scout. It has better art. It has cute little Japanese pictures, but it's basically a shedding game that feels super familiar. Could be terrible. Could be too much like Scout that I'm not interested, but I like Scout and I like the vibe of this one, so I figured I'd put it on my list. So that is number whatever this is, 3. Nana Toridori, Kids Table Board Games.
I mean, I love me a Kids Table Board game, so I'm sure it's going to be great. My number 3, it's also a game that seems like another game. And this game is called Breakers. And it is a trick-taking game where you kind of have sort of an ultimate goal, but the rules change. So it's competitive, 2 to 4 players, and you're battling against unique monsters, and that change the rules of play each round. So what I'm really thinking is each round there's like an event card, which happens to be a monster. And so if you win, that hand, then you have quote unquote defeated said monster. But the thing about that is when you defeat the monsters, you actually get to take that card, and it has a special ability that you can use those in future hands. But if you don't win, you get equipment that'll actually help you in the next one. So I think that's really interesting. It says you play 10, each battle is 10 tricks, but sometimes the monster ability changes it. It alters trump suits, changes win conditions, you're trying to be the first player to get three monsters, win 3 rounds. I love trick taking. So this reminds me of Indulgence. It reminds me of Rebel Princess in some ways. It just reminds me of a lot of different games. The one thing I don't like about it is I think the art. I'm hoping this is just like demo art or promo or like prototype art, and it's only out for demo, actually, not to buy. So maybe they'll make it better because the box is ugly. The artwork I'm seeing is really ugly, but I'm assuming that they're going to get better art. But I love a trick-taking game. So number 3, Breakers.
Yeah, trick-taking is pretty popular, so I would imagine there's going to be a lot of those there, if I would make a guess. My number 2 is actually a dice version of a game that we're pretty big fans of called Belgian Beers Race. And guess what this one's called? Belgian Beers Race Dice. That's right. This is from Grand Gamers Guild, and this is effectively just a dice version, a straight up dice reimplementation of the game, of the base game. The paper that you're writing on is exactly like the board game, the game board. You're trying to collect different types of beer, which are represented by the same cubes. You're either hitchhiking, riding a bus, or riding a bike around the town and rolling dice to do so. You're trying to collect cheese. You're trying to meet these goal cards. And I believe you can pass out just like in the base game if you drink too much. Again, it's just a bunch of tracks, moving around, collecting beer, drinking beer, toasting with friends, and I'm into that. So this is finally coming to America, and I must have it. So that is my number 2, Belgian Beers Race Dice, Grand Gamers Guild.
Yeah, I really love this game. The only thing is, when I have a game that I really love the base game, I'm worried that the dice game is just not going to measure up.
100% is probably not going to be as good, but maybe it'll be easier to teach. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, it's a hard game to teach, but like when we played, what is it, like it's kind of a roll and write Orleans version.
Oh yeah, Joan of Arc.
Yeah, I hate that game. I just would rather play Orleans. Like it's just not. I did not like it at all.
Yeah, Orleans is better. Yeah, this might be the same kind of vibe, but let's hope not. Maybe it'll be good.
I hope it'll be great. My number 2 is a game that I'm sure I've talked about before multiple times. I don't know if it was maybe demoed last year or something, but now it's available to buy, and that is Ovation. And Ovation is from Grand Gamers Guild. It is a music-themed game, which we love. So you're classical composers, and you're competing to perform the greatest musical masterpiece. So the board, like the players' boards, look like little parts of a keyboard, these like lovely keys, and you could be, famous players like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, for example. And like your main currency is inspiration, but inspiration comes in like, different forms, I guess. And I don't know I forget what they call it, but like tones, joy, passion, sorrow, which I think is really great. Like you're getting patronage, you're trying to get inspiration. You can perform, you want to like get some money. So you're like there's some, an engine that you can develop with cards. There are in-game scoring cards. There are legacy points where stuff comes at the end. Like you want to perform, and that's good for you, but also opponents can come and watch you perform, and they get inspiration from that. So they're benefiting from you too. There's a special ability based on your composer. Yeah, lots of good stuff. I really, really, really have been looking forward to this, and I hope I can sit down and do a little demo to see if it measures up to my expectations. So that's my number 2, Ovation.
Yeah, this one does look fun. This is another Grand Gamers Guild one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a pile of these on here, because my number 1 is a Grand Gamers Guild game. And this is one that I've been wanting to know a lot about, but I've intentionally not looked it up because I saw tracks, I saw the theme, and I just figured eventually I'll try it out. And then I can see for myself. And it's called Inferno. And this is a game about, what's that play, Divine Comedy or something?
It's Dante.
By Dante.
Yes,
yeah, Dante's Inferno.
Books.
So this game it's effectively representing that. You're going to do two phases on your turn. There's going to be an Inferno phase where you advance your soul through hell, earning infamy points. And then there's going to be a phase where you're in Florence, playing an action in a city and trying to expose sinners who get executed and their soul is led to hell. Crazy thing, crazy dark, but I mean, that's kind of what the story is. And every time somebody dies, Dante takes a step closer, and when he reaches purgatory, the game ends. So you're trying to do as much whatever, good or bad, that you need to do in this game before Dante reaches his end game, so you can be the winner. It looks amazing. It has a cool looking board, tons of tracks. The board kind of reminds me of that witch game, Septima. It has a similar vibe to Septima. But there's a pile of tracks. There's cool bits. Cool storage container. Everything about this game looks cool. I've never watched it played. I'll see it at Origins, and I'm really excited to check it out. So that's why it's my number 1, Inferno.
Yeah, that would have been on my list if you hadn't chosen it. So there are a lot of overlap between the two of us. Games that we like, but we try to give you 10 different ones. So my number 1 is from Capstone, and it's called Galileo Galilei. And Euro-style game, you are an astronomer and you're discovering new planets, unknown star systems. You're developing your telescope and you're trying to get a scientific breakthrough. So your telescope itself helps you select an action to do, and you're able to evolve those into better ones. So you're collecting cards from planets and solar systems. Need lenses of different colors to kind of make a discovery. Apparently, inquisitors arrive. So to me, that's like when the church comes and slaps you around when Catholics attack. One of my favorite.
I love when the Catholics attack.
I know, one of my favorite things that can happen in a game. The artwork looks really cool. The way that you choose what you're gonna do by this telescope that moves around on a little hinge. It's a really kind of long board. I like the artwork. I like I like the theme a lot. I don't like space, so this isn't in space, but it's about looking at space, and I'm okay with that. It looks like there's a bunch of different tracks. I'm really excited about this game, and I don't really know a ton about it except just in kind of looking and researching this. So that's my number 1, Galileo Galilei.
Yeah, this is one that I've watched some stuff on it and it looks cool, but because I knew a decent amount about it, I kind of left it off because I feel like it's probably one I would like, so I just left it off.
Wow, could have given me a heads up on that.
No, it's your list. That's fine.
You're right, it is my list. I think it looks great.
All right, let's talk about some honorable mentions.
Yes, because there were many. My problem is I'll go through a list and I wrote down probably 20 games because at first glance I'm like, yeah, it looks good. But there are others that I think are worth mentioning. So, Jason, what were some that didn't quite make it to your list?
So the one that I want to talk about is called Loot, which is from Outset, and it's a Rainer Knizia republish because all of his games get published a billion times. And this is, I haven't really looked it up too much. You're sending out pirates to attack trade ships in order to get the most gold coins. It's a card game like a lot of Knizia games. You must survive a round of attacks from other players' pirates. You defend your traders with your own pirates and collect the spoils. So you're just trying to, I think, play higher cards than other people to win. It's been published a whole bunch of times, so clearly it's a solid game. It's ranked fairly high for a little card game, 2600. So this new version has cute little art, so I want to check it out. And I like Knizia, so there we go. Second one is from Hachette, and it's the only push your luck game that I could find on this list. The only one. Man. And it's called Mega Jackpot. And this game is, I actually know a little bit about this game. It's basically, there's 3 piles of cards that look like a slot machine on the back. And what you're trying to do is you're flipping some cards over, trying to make 3 of the same symbol. Just like a slot machine. But you can decide to stop, or you can push your luck to try to turn your winnings into even better winnings. So a little simple card flipping game that has a little bit of a push your luck feel. So it's got to be on my list. So Super Mega Jackpot, or just Mega Jackpot, I guess. Not Super Mega, just Mega.
Super Mega.
Those are the only 2 I had. I literally only had 10 games that I marked as things that I was interested in. So all of them are on this list, either in yours or in my list. So yeah, that's it.
I had a lot. There's another kids table board game called River Market, which is kind of in the creature comforts world, but you're going down the river and selling goods, buying goods. I love everything by them. I mean, honestly, they can do almost anything, and I'm like, yeah, I think I need to buy that. So of course I'm interested in that. Another one is called Up or Down, which is a card game, and it kind of reminds me of a game that I really like called Ohanami, which you're kind of placing cards in numeric, like cards go down in like a circle, and you are placing cards like in between those numbers, and you can have, I don't know, like 3 groups of them in front of you, I believe.
It does sound like Ohanami. It really does.
I know it. I was like, oh man, this really sounds familiar. Which I like that game. It seemed almost like it looks like a elevator almost. But
this is the Kramer and Kiesling game, right?
Maybe. Yes, this is Kramer and Kiesling. So like, it's not, the cards themselves are just basically numbers. Like, they don't look really interesting, but it is like sorting them, like trying to get your numbers out there. You also want to get cards of the same color in a row as possible. So there's ascending and descending rows of cards. So you're trying to get them in there. There's like numbers 1 through 126, but depending on how many players are, that kind of changes it. And so you're placing a card from your hand between the numbers that are like in the ring, and then you're taking one of the cards surrounding the card that you played and add it to your display. So you're like adding either to a new row, starting a new row, or adding to an existing row. So you're trying to, you can only have 3 rows. And it is very much like Ohanami, trying to keep the numbers right, but also you're doing that balancing with color, trying to keep colors together. I thought that was really cool also. And I really like Ohanami. I teach it a lot. I don't think Jason likes it.
No, I do like it. I do. You just like it more than me.
I just like because it's easy to teach. And I usually teach it to people that don't love games. They like something that's pretty easy to play with a little bit of strategy. So that's why I thought that one would be a hit also.
Ohanami is just one of those games that I always do the same strategy, and I can't get out of my own bubble or my own like path that I like. So, but yeah, I like it. It's just you like it more.
Yeah. Another one I thought was cool was Grand Central Skyport, which it's from 25th Century Games. I don't know the designer, but the art is by Andrew Bosley, and I'm a big fan. But there's like a rondel, which I'm always a fan of, and you have like an airship station, and you're trying to attract prestigious tycoons to your city. So you want new airships to come to like your skyport. And it sounds really cool that you're like you want to group airships by color, because they will stack and score like more points. But with each new ship that comes into a station, it like triggers a rearranging of the other ones that were already there. So you're trying to like draft from the central rondel the ones that are going to actually help you get to your airships in the right way. And like there's some other things that will help you manipulate the docked ones that are there for scoring opportunities. I'm like, oh, that just sounds like a lot of really fun stuff there. So Grand Central Skyport looks good to me as well. Did I talk about everything? The only other one, and I only put this on here because it reminded me of a game I love, which is Dinosaur Island. It's called Cretaceous Rails. So it's talking about having like a dinosaur park, and you're trying to make the most, like the best dinosaur park. But I'm not sure what the difference is between, I mean, obviously it's got to be different enough from Dinosaur Island, but
those dinosaurs look cool on the map there.
Yeah, it looks cool. And it says it's worker placement. It's from Spielcraft Games. The weight is like a 3 out of 5, which I think is pretty interesting. So you're building like a rail network into the jungle. And because I guess this one is not like Jurassic Park, where like we figured out how to make dinos in like the modern times. It's like you go back in time.
It looks like a Martin Wallace train game with dinosaurs.
But you're also building like this resort attractions and stuff. So I'm not sure. There's this route building, tableau building, worker placement, resource management.
Yeah, I might be into this. This one looks good.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, I love anything that has like little dinosaur meeples on it. I was like, I don't know. It looks kind of cute. It looks like there's some tracks going on there. Always a winner. So yeah, Cretaceous Rails is another one I'm interested in looking at. So those are all of my many honorable mentions.
Yeah, and the list for Board Game Geek only has like 137 items on it as of the time that we recorded this. It may have more because it's still a couple weeks away, but there isn't a ton. Usually there's more than this. I don't know. Maybe they're just slow rolling it out. I don't know. But we found the cream of the crop. Well,
and I know over the last couple of years, people have said, oh, Origins has gotten so small. There's nothing there. Like, not a lot of vendors come. They're all going to Gen Con, which I get, and maybe that's true. But for me, there's enough games there that I can really have time to look and try them and decide if they're good and worthwhile. See demos of new things that are going to come out eventually, and kind of know if it's really something I want to spend my money on or not. And honestly, because of tariffs and things and the economy, I feel like I'm going to have to be more careful at how much I'm looking to spend on games now. And I want to know that by buying it, it is a game that I will enjoy, my gaming group will enjoy, and that it's worth spending that money to have it on my shelf. And also, lots of you are going to be there. And so I love having time to just sit around a table, play games that we brought, play games that we bought, chat, go over to North Market for lunch. I'm really excited about the social aspect of it, as always.
Oh, yeah, I love that part. It's my favorite part.
You can't even get through it. I'm just lying.
No, I'm excited to play some games and just browse and have some fun, and not the Gen Con craziness. That's not for me. Origins is more my speed.
Yeah, so if you're coming to Origins, please let us know. Tell us on any of our socials. We'd love to hear from you, find times to get together, play a game, hang out, take a picture. Who did I run into? Was it last year? Was it Origins or Gen Con?
It was Origins. It was that Brian guy from 9 to 6 Gamers.
Yes. Yeah. So sweet. I think we took a picture together. I don't know. It was really great. I love that.
Yeah, he's a good human.
Yes.
He's a good human. Well,
I mean, if you listen to our podcast, you have to be a good human. And if you're not a good human, stop listening to it.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. If I find out you're a bad human, I'm going to ban you. I won't. I'll tell.
But I can.
Yeah, it's like I'll tell Jason to ban you.
I'm pretty tough on the internet, so watch out.
He is tough on the internet, and I'm tough in real life. So if I'm around you and you're being a jerk, I'll tell you straight up.
So we've got all aspects covered: real life and the internet.
All aspects covered.
We will shun you until you can't be shunned anymore.
But until then, we'd love to see you at Origins. I've heard.
Yeah, that's true.
I've heard that the elusive Tim will actually be at Origins this year.
We'll see. We can never be in the same place at the same time, so we'll see.
I know, it never works out. It's like he doesn't even like us.
We go to his sister's house. He's not there. I've seen his sister more than he has, I think.
That's true. One time his sister asked us if Tim was coming, and I'm like, well, how would I know?
That's true. True story.
All right. We've rambled on long enough. But yes, please let us know if you're going to Origins, and we'll try to meet up. We're probably going to be there Thursday and Friday just because of our crazy schedules. Because Jason's band is playing. So we tend to go before the big hoopla on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, Thursday and Friday are more my speed. Yep.
All right. Well,
I'm the problem. It's me.
Jason is the problem. I would be there all the time, meeting everybody, making new friends. And honestly, if our kids weren't at an age where we can't just leave them alone, I would love to work at a booth there because I love meeting people and talking about games with people. But hey, we can do that on Thursday and Friday as well. So until we see you then, if we'll see you. If not, let us know that you aren't going to be there and you want us to take a picture of something for you. Or, we'll just give you like a little nod or a wink in a picture so you know that it's meant for you. I don't know. But until then, I've been Katie.
And I'm Jason.
Keep gaming, everybody.
Keep gaming.
I must be getting tired. I start derailing.